Hello and welcome back. Hey, so
Select destination. Destination selected.
you know exactly which t-shirt I'm wearing. I feel like I should have adjusted the settings a little bit before coming into this. I took it off once. What? Hi, Camel. That was good. That was good. Shit, I'm taking. How are you doing, pal? How are you doing? That's good. You have a good day? You're making a presidential list. Alright, I feel like there needs to be a bit of, at least a tiny bit of context. Okay. Now that's something heavy and I don't like the sound of it. I'm gonna lay down and go third person in a minute. Oh, look at that. I was right. Due to the America's strange event. Okay. I can definitely understand that. Well, yeah, you're not wrong. Like, that's not just an American issue, though. That's just a politician issue. I guess a good example of that, even though you'd be hard pressed to call him as bad as Trump. Starmer's a bit. Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, fair. to some degree, overblow some of the shit that's done. I'm not by any means saying that I agree with either, but like, yeah. News articles will take a small snippet and turn it into the end of the world sort of shit. Oh, 100%. No, you're right. Like, it is concerning to some degree, especially with the shit that's happened over there in America. I assume you're American, especially considering you did hammer the American president bit home first. Correct me if I'm wrong. No. Northern England, so you're not too far out. From Yorkshire, to be precise. How the fuck do you take like 12 shots to the body and be fine, but I take one and I apparently am nearly dead? Yeah, God's own county as it's being called. Saying that, one of my favourite actors is actually from Yorkshire, Sean Bean. Favourite bit of work he's done is Shark. It's a series of movies from the Napoleonic Wars. In fact, there was even a couple that's based in India as well. Oh, fuck off. What a time to need to reload. Give me a second, I'll read that. Oh, fuck off! Yeah, I'll read that message now. Love a lot of England producers, music, or actors, great impressions, that I haven't seen. Well, this is something which is debated a little, isn't it? Like, as for modern movies, I don't know how many we've made. I don't really follow specific modern movies too much. The only sort of current shit that's I think I've watched somewhat would be maybe the Bond films, but there hasn't been one of them for a few years at this point. Only time will ever tell. Well, unfortunately, we live in a time which can quite easily be parallel to what pre-World War I, World War II. Well, more World War Two. Well, interwar period.
Select destination. Destination selected.
It's difficult to place it because historically, like the comparisons between the global powers is more like World War One, where we're actually all quite a lot closer than people like to think. There isn't anyone that's like miles ahead. And I say that whilst fully knowing that America is completely technologically dominant, but at the same time, production-wise, fully China. And China is actually almost caught technologically. Fuck that. If we are technologically advanced than that. The issue with that one is, like, don't get me wrong, I like to be cynical, but I also like to be quite realistic with it. Well, yeah, no matter how you look at it, even though it was made in the 80s, so at this point it's a 40-year-old fighter roughly, the F-22 is, just for an example, is still the premier fighter of the world. The Russians haven't been able to make something comparable, neither of the Chinese. But at the same time, I guess the Su-57 and the J-20, which would be, I guess, considered comparable, haven't had to face off against it. So, well, that's the bit that matters, isn't it? If we're comparing countries, because we can compare civilian sectors, but because we all like to say we're a global planet now and we all work together, like, civilian stuff can be traded back and forth. Like, China might have their own rip-offs of just about every brand, but you'll still find Teslas in China, you'll still find Chinese knockoffs in America if people really wanted to. Likewise, a kind of funny one. No worries. Let me know when you're back, pal. I need to spam one of these motherfuckers with a rocket launcher. Please, for the love of God, tell me that this thing got around it. It does. Okay. Just a second, I'm gonna do a bit of tank hunting, then I'll get back to where I was. Wait, where the fuck is that? I was gonna say, like, one of the funniest bits of, like, that is uncomfortably close. Where is that? One of the funniest bits of, like, crossing technologies between civilian and military actually is not the use of drones, because that shit seems just predictable, but one which not many people know about actually is you know what a Cessna is? Fuck. You know, the small plane which quite high wings, one single spinning rotor. Yeah. The American Air Force themselves don't have any, but the American Air Force built. Well, I don't. It's probably not them that make it. I think it's probably General Electric or someone, because that's how every country does it.
Select destination.
But they have it
Destination
kitted out
selected.
to carry, well, to have a weapons grade radar, a new cockpit, but then they actually strap ATGMs to the wings, and they export them and help maintain them in other countries. So and they don't like rebuild it from the ground up or out. They literally just take the civilian model, rip out the interior, put a new interior in it, ship it off to Colombia, Nigeria, Iraq, and let those guys use it in like anti-terror operations and stuff. Oh yeah. Like, if I reboot this, I could actually show it off, because it's something that I've actually got in one of the mods. It's effective because it's used in areas which aren't meant to have a contested airspace. Like, you're not going to expect the Iraqis to have to fight, I don't know, ISIS with, but, well, yeah, that's obviously who they're fighting, but you're not going to expect ISIS to show up with MiG-29s against an actual army, an air force. There we go. On your backpack. Well, still are, like... They don't. It's a cheap option to deal with a low-tech threat. Like, don't get me wrong, America is more than willing to spend billions on destroying a single terrorist camp and using V2s to drop just an entire, or B-52s to just carpet bomb the fuck out of an area. Very much an American solution to a small problem, but it's not very cost effective. Oh. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Like, it's kind of funny though, because that has actually brought Europe a lot closer suddenly as well. Because you're talking like, oh god, fuck me. Yeah, Europe is, especially with the European Union, is united to a degree, but when you actually take all the factors into account, it's a disunified unity. And Trump saying that invading Greenland is an actual option, it's made no worries.
Sector seized. Voting for the next sector. Select sector. Incoming sector scan. Sector selected. Sector scan terminated.
Excellent. So, I actually forgot where I was. Oh yeah, like Trump actually saying that an actual invasion of Greenland is like on the table, has made like France, Denmark, Spain, and others all go, well, maybe as a European, as a united Europe, we should all put troops in Greenland. Where before, no one gave a shit about Greenland. Other than a point to project American power into Europe, especially during the Cold War, Greenland was never considered
Incoming sector scan.
strategically valuable. Its potential raw minerals are actually quite valuable though, which I guess is the source of Trump's sort of like, ooh, let's claim that. Same with Canada. Oh shit. But...
Sector scan terminated.
Well, yeah. It's mad, the little things though. I'm gonna need that. I wouldn't like. I don't know where to sort of stand when it comes to it all, mate. Like, you are right. You are right. Like, whether we're talking America, America especially, I guess, because like, even if we're not talking Trump, Elon, King Elon, as some people have joked. Definitely appears to want to go that way. Now, but the reason I'm gonna say don't like hold your breath for Europe to be the heroes here either is because, well, even though here in the UK we have a typically left-leaning party in power.
Select destination.
To some degree, they have squashed some
Destination selected.
pretty normally established freedom, free speech and stuff like that. To some degree, I agree. Like, to limit hate speech and stuff, but how far is too far? But then you also have, and this one's going to be quite funny, I guess. We have issues in Germany. There is actually issues in the Reichs. No, it's still the Reichstag actually. Right-leaning parties have actually crept in and have substantial holds there. A couple of years back, Italy elected a rather right-leaning government. Hungary is rather right-leaning, and in fact, to the point where they basically outright support Russia. They're a little reluctant to admit it, but yeah. AA battery. Not heard that one before from you, Felix. I'm doing alright there. How are you? Oh shit. Of course you nailed me through the fucking tree, you know. Well, bushes. Yeah, I get that one there. If you're a bit short on it, man, then maybe take some vitamins or something. There'll definitely be something out there for
Select destination.
15046 54070.
Destination
To
selected.
some degree,
550.
you're right.
Niner.
If you've been sick for almost a month, mate, then you might want to, like, especially if it's not shifting, you might want to go to get it checked. No, you are right though. Like, to say that it's not capitalism's fault that this is happening would be incorrect. One thing which some people like to ignore, but is it was a key part, or key cornerstone for Germany, or yeah, the Third Reich, was especially on the build-up to the Second World War. It's not like, even though it was called the Nationalist Socialist Party, the socialist bit would make you think that they were left-leaning, but like, or that they were for the people. But it was quite the opposite. It was the rich getting rich whilst the poor or the undesirables work their ass off. And that's something that capitalism promotes. To a degree. The idea of capitalism is that you have an unregulated market which allows for free roam both up and down the ladder. But in recent years, you only see upwards. Well, no, you only see down. You don't really see up. When was the last who was the last person, self-made person you know? There isn't any stories anymore. The last stories you hear about that sort of stuff were from like 30, 40 years ago. If someone makes it nowadays, It's a very difficult story. Because I skip out from like 4 symptoms. What's the story, pal? Yeah, but that's the thing, isn't it? Like, the idea about capitalism is that each person or each company will have its moment of glory, but then there'll be another one that should be able to innovate past them. But you have the entire thing in this day and age where, well, I guess it's not this day and age, where you get big companies which just buy out the small company which should have passed them because they're like, oh, I like your idea, here's some money. It's the reason that some political systems have actually started to crack down on technology companies. Look at, I think there was a case in the US against Google, and Google now is being forced to shatter itself, essentially, because it's got too much of a monopoly, which I agree. Especially for Android users, Google runs your life. During a history class, my teacher asked what the political stance is, whatever, and said feminism by accident instead of... That's kind of funny. That's funny, Felix, but at the same time, it's got a level of, especially for modern feminism, it's a bit sort of scary. I'm in a very shitty position. Will you die? No, I'll die. I'll do the kind thing. Where was my rocket launcher? I should have. I had a rocket launcher. I could have just blown that entire thing up and killed them all in one go.
Five, 4, 0, 6.
Select destination.
Oh yeah,
5, 2, 0, 6.
yeah. No, you're 100% right there,
Destination
Felix.
selected.
One thing to remember, especially if you ask old feminists, especially, they will say that they want equality, not feminism. Feminism. The entire point of the feminist movement was to achieve equality across both genders, not belittle the male gender. It's only younger feminists and the modern movement, which is essentially just fuck men. I don't like to say that, but that's essentially what it has become. But yeah, I'm going through my presidential list, which is not finished yet. I know you know how politicians will say one thing and do another. Well, I have to be careful when comparing. No, I you're right. You are right. guess one thing which you have, which it's been exaggerated on how much it's affects us here, I think, but
Select destination.
America still does have very high levels of free speech.
Destination
Where
selected.
here in the UK, a simple Facebook post could potentially have you arrested. And I wish I was joking. Like I said, to some degree, it's exaggerated. But with the right sentiment, that can happen. Oh shit. Because anti-hate speech laws here in the UK, especially since COVID, have meant that, well, I think more in particular since Arma took over shit. I need to buy a launcher. Mean that if you post something and it can be actually, and someone reports it and it can be tracked back to you, and it can be qualified as hate speech, then it's technically a hate crime. And one thing which has got a few people concerned as well is it's kind of old news at this point. I think it happened about a month ago, but the UK government forced Apple to pull its encryption out of the UK. They were asking for a backdoor into it because they wanted to be able to access, criminals' iPhones and stuff. Apple refused and went, you know what, we're not giving you a backdoor because it'll let you into everything. We'll just stop encrypting UK customers.
Hey, your mom.
Sup, Phylan, how you doing? So, yeah, it's a bit freaky, that. I'm not too fussed because I don't have the super secure security guarantees of iPhone anyway. I'm an Android user. My friend, good old Sony. If anything, the Japanese are getting all my data.
5306.
There we go, Phylan. I'm always curious though, because Android is actually a pretty big team. What brand do you go with? I have to look at the word encrypting very carefully. One of these words we see. I don't know.
Select
The
drop zone.
easiest way to
Airdrop in
give
progress.
an idea of what encrypting is. Have you ever? Where the fuck's that dropped? Back at school, for instance, did you ever do any of the coded messages stuff? Yeah, sort of. Yeah, I have an iPhone, but I don't. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I don't hate iPhone. I can't use them. My girlfriend has an iPhone, and she asked me to help do stuff on it all the time, and it's like, well, she asked me to take pictures and stuff on it. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Samsung, that's a good shout. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying there, Camel. Like, encryption is one of those, it's good for you, but it's not really something you care about too much unless you've got shit to hide. I was saying, like, unless you got shit to hide, because what encryption does, especially from the outside perspective, is say I was to send you a message. Now, obviously, my side, I know what the message says. Your side, you know what the message says, because we both have the encryption keys. But I don't know. Let's say there's a third person. For the sake of it, I'm going to say Felix, because he's quite an evil bastard half the time. Say he's like intercepted the message, but he doesn't have the encryption key. So to him, it'll just be random letters, random characters, everything. Because it's encrypted, he can decrypt it with time, but it just looks like gibberish to him unless one of us were to give the key. Well, if you like Apple, but it's too pricey for you, just buy the Chinese knockoff. I'm sure they'll have one. Did I study coding? No. I know coding to a small, tiny bit. I know this because if my missus was about, she would say it's just because of my tism. I'm not diagnosed, even though she calls me all the time. But I just know little bits from just about everything. That's probably a bit of blowing my own head up a little, to be fair. I know little bits of different shit randomly. He only knows the coding from a book, how to fuck. Fuck you. The only thing Apple has which lifts it above everything else is its encryption at this point. Because Android works off open source software, Apple is its own thing. You are right though, Camel. Autism and that are pretty common nowadays. But that's because I think it's one of those where it's not that it was never a thing. It's more where we're starting to understand human behaviour better. I do flight codes on. What the fuck? Apple Fold when? I won't lie, I am quite interested in the Samsung Fold. I don't have faith in that screen. Yeah, you're right. The tism has become a bit of a wide umbrella at this point. With you saying had a Samsung, like, I assume it was a bit ago. What do you have? Oh wait, did you already say that you have an Apple now? An iPhone? Oh, fair. Ah, fair. Oh, Motorola. That's an interesting one. Fair. Motorola is a pretty old brand, to be fair. I'm pretty sure Motorola would be kicking it with the old dogs like Nokia back in the day. I'll tell you a phone brand which probably isn't on your radar, which I have been tempted to buy a phone from for some time, just to try out. Caterpillar. I don't know if it's a thing in America, but here in the UK, you can buy it on Amazon. It's like 100 quid or something. So fuck knows what that'd be in premium units. Probably like 150 bullets or some shit. But Caterpillar, they have a phone which is meant for blue collar workers, I guess would be the best way of putting it. It's meant to be nigh indestructible, dust proof, waterproof, drop proof, and when they do the drop proof testing, they're not like just dropping it on a carpet. They're not just dropping it from 5 feet. I believe it's like got a 40 foot drop onto steel. No, but this is the thing. The Caterpillar one, I'll find it in a minute. It's got quite a sleek look to it. Like you can see the bits that would make it durable there. I'll wait because I think an ad started. Yeah, no worries. I'm curious, Felix, can you hear what I say when that happens? Or are you sort of cut off as well? I believe so. I'm guessing you've got a sub then if you're still able to talk to me, Fat Island. I know. I was asking if you could hear me, Felix, not if everyone else could. Oh. Right. To be clear, Felix, in case it's showing that the ad's ended now on my side, I was asking if you could hear me. Not, I know everyone else couldn't, or at least no one without a subscription could. I believe it has a heat sensor on it. But yeah, the Caterpillar phone, even though it is rugged, it looks a bit kind of sleek as well. Fair enough. Guessing you're running an ad blocker or something in that case. Unless you've got a sub. No, I guess you're not subbed at the moment, at least. Excuse me, Balan? What? Why are you watching guys on your Insta milking each other?
Sector seized. Voting for the next sector. Select sector.
Welcome back, Camel.
Incoming sector scan.
Okay, let me see if I can...
Sector selected.
I think it's this one here, isn't it? Like, the Cat
Sector scan
S42H
terminated.
plus. Like, it's got that armoured sort of look and stuff to it. Where's the... It even comes in a box that makes it look like it's a tool, apparently. But yeah, it's here. Waterproof up to 1.5 meters for up to 35 minutes. Drop tested. Oh, I exaggerated. It wasn't 40 foot. It was... It's 6 foot onto steel. Bit of a difference. Ingress protection. So that's basically stops shit from getting inside of it. Sand, dust, dirt, and now with silver built into it. Looks quite nice. And it's not that expensive in terms of phones either, because this is, from what I'm aware, this is just like a standard Android. But it's less than 200 quid. And you can still get cases and screen protectors for it as well. So you can really turn that thing into an actual fucking beast. The entire joke back in
Incoming
when I was a
sector
kid
scan.
that like you could get a Nokia and it would be like a tank. That fucking Caterpillar is a tank. I'm 50-50. Like, I'm not against storyteller games, but it has to be something that really captivates me to play it. Like, I have a Twitch storyteller sort of game.
Sector
I
scan
like
terminated.
puzzles. Is that an actual thing, Farland? That can't be a thing. There's no way there'd be a hentai game with Twitch interaction. You'd get banned off Twitch. They wouldn't even bother making it.
Select destination. Destination selected.
Fuck's sake. Right, I can hit something like 5 meters away by just pointing at it, but something like 400 meters, I want to say. Pointing at it makes it go half. Well, there's Seven days to the end with you, which is the game where you got transported into a world, had to learn how language, right. Judging by Fallon's reaction, I'm wondering if I should even bother You know what, I am going to give it a quick look. Why not? Fuck it. Steam. To the end with you. Felix, what the fuck? Why does this look like a very low budget, like, dating sim essentially? Oh, I read the description. You don't know a single word in the language of this world. Deduce the meaning of the words the person before you uses to communicate with you. Then try to understand them like a puzzle, one piece at a time. You are free to receive the meaning of the words you read. The relationship between the two characters is built on the words you interpret, and their story is also built on the words you interpret. That fucked me, I'm dying. Their world changes according to your understanding. Maybe their story is short, ordinary story, or maybe it's long, peculiar story. Or both stories could exist at the same time. There's nothing wrong with that. So Felix, how many times have you played this and how many times have you just made them fuck? Violent, we're not going to go into porn Candy Crush. Come on. This is a channel for classy people. We ain't anything like that that Stalinian guy. How dark we talking there, Byron? As if that was blocked. She didn't know I'm Blackborough. Fallon, what is wrong with you? Yeah, that's what's made after you have a curry. Soft serve chocolate ice cream. I deserve to be sent to a gulag after that. I have questions. I wonder what from. Yeah, he was jacking it too hard. Yeah, he had his mouth open when it went off as well. Alright. For those non-Americans, when you say middle school, like how old are we talking? Yeah, alright, fair
The
enough.
enemy is advancing.
Like, not to try and put an age on you, like, but how long ago was it? Because schools... Yeah, like, I'm a little older than you by the sounds of it. Maybe it's just the schools you went to, but I know my school was like... They locked that shit down pretty quick. Like, a couple of us still found ways onto it. But I wouldn't have said it was easy. What's all lies? To be fair with you there, Phylum, like... I am a bit. There's a new space game which is meant to be coming out, which is meant to be like... It's made by the Minecraft devs, but it's meant to be like Sea of Thieves meets... it wasn't Space Engineers. What was it? Was it... Fuck, I forgot what it's called. You can go from piloting the ship to jumping out and jetpacking onto whatever ship you're fighting, looting them, and then going back to yours. It's like up to a 4-player co-op. I want to say jumped or something. I'm just gonna say you're an idiot, pilot. What the fuck? One second. Let me see if I can find the name of this fucking game, because it's gonna bug me. Shit. Yeah, that'll happen when you park up in front of a tank. Alright, I know it wasn't that far back. Bloody hell, come on. Or am I just looking in the wrong place? I think I'm looking in the wrong place. One second. I'm somewhat the same, to be fair there, mate. Like... Space has always been a pretty cool sort of thing, no matter what. The issue is, I reckon an alien invasion will be the one time we all pull our shit together. Fuck's sake, I can't find it. Like, I think it's more of a matter that we weren't. To be fair there, Felix, because when I say that, I literally mean like you and me. Because we've already discovered planets which potentially could be Earth-like out there. What? I think they're probably found good. Oh. Well, they're that far away. Me and you? Well, even someone that's born tomorrow would never see them in their lifetime because we don't have fast lane like tech. And even if we had fast lane like stuff, something which is 100 light years away would still take 100 light years, 100 years for
Sector
us.
seized.
For them to get there.
Voting for the next sector.
Even though for them, it would maybe, I guess, instantaneous. Oh, near instantaneous.
Incoming sector scan. Select sector. Sector scan terminated. Sector selected.
Like, you're not wrong.
Select destination.
Like, Microsoft apparently has discovered that new state of matter which allows for the potential of quantum computing to be unlocked.
Destination selected.
So we never know. I think the scarier part of that one though is more with the chance that quantum computing is a potential breakthrough in the next, I don't know, decade. It also means that the chance of a true AI is out there as well. I don't mean like the more or less programmed algorithmic shit that we currently have, because even the most advanced AI models nowadays need some actual prompting
Incoming
stuff to
sector scan.
get stuff right. But with quantum computing, it's very possible that we wouldn't just see proper simulations, so we could actually simulate whether something's going to work before we build it. We would also see the likelihood of whether or not
Sector scan
would likely
terminated.
see like fully blown AI. I've not read up on it anywhere near enough to have that conversation, mate. I also don't. I imagine I'm also not smart enough to know fucking that one. But it yeah. No, sounds like a plan, to be fair. Like, I know the big thing around quantum computing, but yeah, I don't know what it was that do. What exactly it made. That'd have been even better if that was suppressed. Give me your first aid kit. As fun as that shit looks, I don't need it. How goes your list anyway, Callum, if you're still there? Oh, Camel. Oh, that get fucking saved me. What, you become a fucking marksman and just nail me in the fucking head? Oh, okay. That's a change. You went from a list to making a letter to a website. Okay. About the same sort of stuff, or is it something else? Essentially just a mix of material which makes a new magnetic field which is sandwiched between heavy and normal metal. Fair enough. Like I said, a bit beyond my pay grade. Just to be sure everything is wisely put. I'm just asking them to do this. Fair enough.
Select destination. Destination selected.
One thing. Now this is coming from. This is coming from a historical sort of background because I'm a history student myself. One thing which I think is the main mistake of modern politics: career politicians. Now I understand, to some degree, it's a benefit because you have the know-how and stuff of how businesses work, how the legal system works, because that's the shit that you spent like a decade studying to get to there, and you made those connections because of the studies, because politics meets business meets law, you know, they all coincide. But the entire idea that people go into politics because of the paycheck, because of the luxurious lifestyle, and not just because they want to do good for the country. Ugh. That's probably because I leaned back from my microphone a little bit. Do you want me to repeat some of that? What I was saying was, I disagree with career politicians. Like, I understand, obviously, to some degree, it benefits everyone because obviously during their decade long of studying, they picked up the contacts from the business world because they stood alongside businessmen. They stood alongside people that would become future lawyers. But the entire idea that you could make a career out of politics implies that there is a certain lifestyle to politics. There's certain money to be made in, where that's something which I think modern democracies, at least, have let become too lucrative, so to speak. I get
The
what you
enemy
mean
is
there,
advancing.
Phylan. Like, for most of my voting, I just sort of followed my family's opinion on it, which I guess clashes with yours a little bit there. My family were always like working class, blue collar sort of family, so they always leaned more Labour. But at this point, I don't agree with either of the big parties here in the UK. Like, to some degree, I agree with you. Like, the politician just needs to do a good job. But this is an issue with modern politics, isn't it? Like, especially in Western countries where you need to be voted into office to be able to get shit done. But not just yourself, you need your party to be voted into office to get shit done. So popularism is like, it's an easy way to get yourself extra votes. It's an easy way to get your party extra votes. But the issue with just voting for a populist is, well, you get the outcome which Germany had in the 30s. You get the the outcome which brought Boris Johnson to premiership here in the UK. You get you get Trump in America. So I agree, voting just because someone's popular is a dumb idea. But you don't really have a way of knowing what the person's going to be like until they're in office. Someone could say all the right shit, could actually have minor experience which makes it look good for them, but the moment they're in office they could just self-serve. I feel like this stream has got very political. Not even intended out. Like I don't normally do political shit. Oh yeah, that's sort of what I mean, isn't it? Like, I don't know what Trump has done for any of the communities, but I know during the election, especially this cycle, he went to, was it Detroit? And he won like at least the black Detroit vote because, well, no politician has gone down and like said, yeah, I'll do this for you. Ever. True.
Select sector. Incoming sector scan.
Oh, fuck off, like, God. I'm gonna take that thing out, actually. I'm gonna have to swap to a heat round.
Sector scan terminated.
Like, I don't have... I'll say this. I don't have a problem with Trump per se. Like... But I very much suspect he's not the one pulling the strings at this point, at least. Because no offense to Trump, yes, he's a businessman and he's a very big name, but he's only really a popular name. He's not a successful name. You look at, well, any Trump enterprise, and most of them have flopped. What country are you from, pal? streaming to work. Yeah, fair. The main issue I see with that, and I'm not going to say that Trump's not doing a good thing
Hey, your mom.
America in that regard. Thanks for the follow there, Papa. Bonjour. How go you, pal? You having a good night? Or day, depending on where you are? Like, the issue with the US South American relationship is for nearly 200 years. Well, no, that's probably a bit of an exaggeration. Since America became dominant, especially in the Americas, the United States has, to some degree, forced its hand into South America. Now, in some cases, especially like what you're saying at the moment, where they're helping clean up, I'm not going to argue that it's helpful, but how much of that was also caused by them? Because, especially in Central America, like Guatemala and that, you had the banana republics. Oh yeah, like I'm not arguing that America isn't useful there. I'm just saying that to some degree they're just cleaning up their own mess. But it's also beneficial for them because it's cleaning up their backyard. Because especially in the terms of, maybe Ecuador might be a bit small for the example, but could you imagine if
Sector seized.
instead of it was America cleaning it up, could you
Voting
imagine
for the
if
next sector.
China did, and then Ecuador allowed China to set up a military base there? That'd be literally on America's doorstep. America doesn't want that in terms
Incoming
of geopolitics.
sector scan.
Oh well, if we're going to look at development, then America and most of Western Europe have sort of dropped off.
Sector scan terminated.
That has been so overblown.
Sector selected.
We have arguably one of the most powerful laser defense weapons on the planet at the moment. But America has a laser defense weapon on most of its refit destroyers. I'm curious what you're on about with that one. What's Japan doing?
Select destination. Destination selected.
The only project I know that Japan's working on is the Tempest program where they're working with us. And above there.
Incoming sector scan.
I will say, America actually does have some historic, quite close
Sector
ties
scan
with
terminated.
fascist Germany. Even before the war, there was a lot of American business owners, which were quite, let me allow that, right-leaning. Henry Ford, for instance, Walt Disney, there were others. They all sponsored and tried to get some of the Nazi Party ideas over to America. And then after the war, there's often jokes that, well, Nazi Party members fled to Argentina, but a lot of them were actually, especially the ones that did escape, a lot of them were helped by the US. It was I don't think it was called it at the same time, but it was the CIA which helped create the rat trails, I think they were called, or something like that, where high-value Nazis were smuggled out of Europe and across to the Americas. And Camel is right. There is some quite right-leaning stuff which has been put through Twitter and stuff. Like, when it comes to the entire Elon Musk thing, I won't say that he was intending to do a big, like, Nazi salute. Maybe he wasn't. Like, maybe he was intending it as a bit of like a laugh or whatever. But especially with how it was played off afterwards, it feels a bit iffy.
Sector seized. Voting for the next sector. Select sector. Incoming sector scan. Sector selected. Sector scan terminated.
To be fair, like, Fallon, you do have a. It's a reasonable thing for you not to really
Destination selected.
be too fussed by shit happening in America, like Ecuador and the drug cartels and shit. Especially if America's helping with it, you have a reason to sort of. You have a benefit from whatever is happening with Trump. His shit is helping you, so that's fair.
Select destination. Destination selected. Sector scan. Terminated.
And you all should be back. Just know. I just know what I generally can with. I'm not going to say which cabinet to work, say which countries when you're because that's reasonable. Like, for a lot of it, I guess at the moment, it's more speculation than else. I'll be 100% honest. It could just be the fact that Donald Trump and the gang just seem more like Looney Tunes characters than any fucking thing else. But I know from what I've heard, whether it's all conspiracy theory or not, a different thing. But I've heard that there's obviously a fair bit of sort of like strong arm going on from the Trump administration, or maybe not strong arming, but like sneaking around. A lot of his cabinet were not sworn in through proper channels. They were just sort of put in place, and that was that.
The enemy is advancing.
Elon Musk is like obviously the biggest notable one, especially considering, well, his entire job didn't exist before. It was literally announced, I believe, as Trump won the election. It didn't go through any Congress, it didn't go through any Senate hearings. It was just, oh yeah, I won, and well, he's now in charge of this. I think that one, I'm not going to say it's not true, I'm not going to say it's true, because I don't remember reading up on that before. But that one's very much along the lines of politicians will do what is beneficial to themselves. I was not paying enough attention there. But in terms of, I don't know. I guess you two were probably the two people that would know more about it, because obviously, Camel, you are an American, and Fallon, you have an actual vested interest in this. Oh yeah, you're not going to find a single politician that isn't like possible to be accused of something.
Do not fire.
I will point out on that last on the camera, even though it appeared that Kamala Harris, especially in the last election, and even in Hillary in the 2016 election, might have been because of the better of two evils. Your country still elected the supposed worst of two evils.
Select destination.
Pilot, get in that vehicle.
Destination selected.
You have a fair point there, Fallon. There's an SM missile. We're useless here. Drop it so I'm not carrying around dead weight.
Sector lost.
What I'm trying to say with that one, Callum, is even though it appears obvious which one's the better of the two, for fuck's sake, two evils, people are willing, at least the majority of people, at least in the last election, were willing to ignore what a fair amount of people were saying is a bad idea and go, hey, let's just accept this guy. Let's do this guy. I will admit, with that one, Phylan, yeah, you do fall, I guess, more in the conservative, the more traditional right-wing sort of thing. Oh, you 100% can, Phylan. Like, this is the thing about democracy.
Select destination.
7, 9er, 0, 9er.
Destination
It doesn't
selected.
matter.
7, 8, 0, 9er.
Well, democracy means that the people has the final say on sort of what's happened. I know I do. I thought you'd fallen asleep. I was actually thinking of wrapping up the stream a while ago, but like we got talking politics and stuff. Don't worry, I'm not going to be streaming much longer. Ah, fair enough. Is that the missus or just the girl? It's the missus. Girlfriend, missus, it doesn't matter which one you really use. But yeah, that's her. Should have made sure you were all wrapped up properly though there. Keep your leg inside the covers. Oh, fair. I feel like you got a bit lucky there then in that case, Phylum, because night night, sweetie. Sweet dreams. Oh shit. Round into the wrong corner at the wrong time. What I was going to say is I definitely feel like we've got a bit lucky with that one, because conservative family and, putting it bluntly, being, I'm assuming, gay, would be saying not straight. Correct me if you're like bi or whatever. Like most like conservative traditional families would like be very strict against that sort of thing. From my experience. But ironically, my own parent, I have a parent that is supposedly left-leaning, but also very against progressive things, so I guess you get them from all sides of life, really, I guess, in that case. I'm gonna go and lay down in a corner and hope they don't find me.
Sector lost.
Yeah, that is a fair point there, actually, Phylum. Like, very few countries are actually like looking to solve climate change. That only that that's a good question to ask. But I'm gonna in a roundabout way, you can offset how much energy you're using whilst gaming and that if you were to say power it from solar or your own wind turbine or something. So if you're going to ask that question, you do sort of need to ask if they know where their energy is coming from. Because I'll freely admit, I'm on mains electric right now. So mine is more than likely just gas, natural gas, being bad. And where I work, it's the same. I work in an office. Yeah, you're right. A lot of the time, when it comes to that bit, especially when growing up, however, a lot of people are taught in a very simplistic way, it's good or bad. Without trying to start anything, that's often portrayed as like white and black or black and white. But it's not, it's usually just different shades of grey.
Sector seized.
Like, I'm actually going to take Violent's side on this one. Like, he is right. It is a matter of having, like, just saying that you're going to offset carbon emissions by planting more trees or having more green energy doesn't change the issue. The issue is still there. Like, just because, yeah, and that's what Fallon's trying to get, I think. Like, he's like, not just, let's not just move the problem, let's actually solve the problem. So, like with the moving from horse and cart to carts, let's find something that doesn't, let's find a source of energy that doesn't require us to burn fossil fuels all the time. Let's find a way of making phones that isn't digging up half of Africa at this point.
sector seized.
I'm gonna have to quickly.
The enemy is advancing.
Like, I'll say this one on that part, like, because that's it's the argument that countries that are less developed need to pollute to be able to develop is something which China and India are very strong towards that argument, because depending on the way that you like to order the technological revolutions, you're looking at us being in, I think, our third one at the moment with AI, and it might be our fourth actually. Where countries like China and India are like midway through the last one, because we're obviously America, Britain, and obviously the rest of Europe are racing through using the internet and developing AI. Yeah, China is doing that as well, but they've not had a massive like surge on building as many coal power plants. They've not built a lot of nuclear power plants. China's an awkward one because it's right sort of in the middle of everything. It's doing it all at once. India is a better example because India
Sector lost.
So I was saying how that's going to have to stay off that here. So I forget how many there is. In fact, I'm going to pull this up so I can like see it as I'm saying it. I'm going to tab across to my other screen really quick. Come on then, pull all the way across.
Enemies incoming.
So, in terms of industrial revolutions, at least here in the UK, it's like to be believed that there's only been one, where there hasn't. There has been multiple. I found actually a good diagram here as well for it. There's a few. Where the first one is obviously machinery, water power, steam power, that sort of stuff, and that happened back in the 1700s. And then early, 20th century, 1900s, You had the second industrial revolution, where it was mass production, assembly lines, electronics. Then it's believed in the 70s you have like the computers and the automation. You know, there are multiple ones, and this is where the argument for countries like China and India are they need to expel a lot of pollution to be able to industrialize themselves. They need to go through these industrial revolutions because they haven't yet. They've gone through the first one, they haven't done the second. Even though they've adopted things from the third and the fourth, they've not gone through the industrial revolution themselves. So China and India are both expected to build hundreds more coal plants, hundreds more no worries. Yeah.
Select destination. Destination selected.
You are right, Phylum. But this is also where those countries are using the money which Western countries give them to develop, to make those products, to develop through their second and third revolutions. Actually, no, clear that.
Select drop zone.
Tax.
Airdrop in progress.
Bearing 015. Contact. Truck. Parachute 100 meters front.
Report position.
Grid 0, 80009er9.
Report position.
5, 6, 7, 8. Team Blue. 2, 3, 4. Team red. Team blue, get in that vehicle.
Roger that. No, sir. No, sir.
Cannot comply.
No, sir.
Sector seized.
Team blue, get in that vehicle.
Understood.
Team red, get in that vehicle.
You're not wrong. Like with that one especially, like a lot of the clean stuff needs to go through a period of being built through means that just dirt work when
Return to formation.
when trying to just avoid it, if that makes sense. That's been really well. In fact, you know what I'm going to do?
Grid 081.
yeah, like that's a fair point. I don't think America's the only country that adds just a shit ton of additives to their food, but they're definitely the most prevalent here. You can't hear me? Probably the engine. Yeah, one second. That did not help that, did it? There we go. I said that America's not the only country with a shit ton of additives in the food, but it's definitely the most prevalent one.
Enemy is advancing.
Motherfucker. I will hit you with my car. We're not letting CSAT take the airfield. This is our airfield, bitches. Well, China being on that list definitely makes sense, though, to be fair. As much as I agree with you, Fallon,
Grid 0,
this might be
1, 0, 4,
like
6. Ready.
I was saying when you said the China bit, I was saying, especially with like MSG and shit, like they like to add a fuck ton of that into it, foods. Welcome to geopolitics, I guess, in that one.
Select destination.
Sit ready.
Destination.
China's
selected.
been trying to make islands for
Man down.
decades.
We lost one. Fuck, man down. KT soldier, 400 meters, northeast.
Fire at that soldier. North.
Oh well, that's literally their aim. Because of how international law works, like
Move 400 meters.
by creating those islands and actually having their own facilities on it, they actually have a claim to say, oh, well, that's our island, our border should be pushed out X amount of miles. Because a country's coastal waters is only like 3 miles out, and then a coastal's economic waters is like, what is it? I want to say 60, but I think it's 100 miles out, depending on the circumstances. You see, that's actually where I disagree, Camel. I think the Chinese capitalism is actually a better form of capitalism.
Sector lost.
And I'll defend that point Not because I agree with the CCP are out. Like, I'm strongly against just a straight up communist party or country, but considering
Sector seized.
it's not the
Voting for the next sector.
the
Select sector.
it's not companies that run the country. It's, you know, the government that says no, you can't do that to the companies.
Incoming
It
sector
really
scan.
has something to say in regards to the market being regulated over the market regulating the country. It's one of the reasons the entire argument about TikTok being spyware
Sector select.
was able to be
Enemies incoming.
pushed so much. Yeah, TikTok wasn't even a Chinese app. It was Singaporean, I think. The guy was.
Scan terminated.
But because China can quite literally just seize assets of their companies, and America can do the same. America actually has bills in place, which means that if they really wanted to, they can nationalize any company. The UK can do the same. Any country has it, but China actively uses their powers to do that shit, which I'm not going to say it's a bad thing, but it's it very much shows a different power dynamic to what happens here. Like here, the government will say, we want a hydroelectric dam built. You'll have 20 companies all submit price tags for it. They'll go, oh yeah, we can get that done for £1 billion. We can do that for $500 million. Blah 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 blah. And the contract will go to the lowest bid. And then 5 years in, that lowest bid will say, oh, actually
Sector scan.
we've run out of money. We need more money. In China, they'll go, we want this done. And they'll just point at a company and go, you're going to do it. Here's your budget. Get it done.
Clear.
Sector seized.
Now,
Voting for the next sector.
sometimes they still go over budget, but there isn't really there's not really competition in China. They have competitive companies, but they are heavily regulated.
Hey, your mum.
Fuck me, I can't even speak right now. Thanks for the follow as well, by the way. Government managed resources of what? Is that the citizens? Yeah, she is. I quite literally need to be open in about 6 hours. I'll finish off this conversation, then I'll dip. Where was I? I'm gonna have to scroll back for the chat a second. What is of the citizens in the name of the citizens monopolize itself? It's paradox. Monopoly is an anti-capitalist. Try to avoid. No, you're right there. Yeah. The capitalist system works, and I'll 100% say it works, because a capitalist system is I'm not going to say it was invented here in the UK, but it was something that we trademarked for quite a while. The United Kingdom, especially across the British Empire, allowed companies to compete against each other and just let them do their thing. But they would never allow a company to, never allow is probably a bit strong. A company to become too powerful.
Sector.
A good example of that one would be, well, shit. The East India Company. Now, across 200 years, the East India Company went from a small trading fleet with ports across India and the Indian Ocean, South China Ocean, to owning India, having its own private
Sector
army.
selected.
And when it got that strong, it actually created so many enemies that a revolt in India kicked off, and not the crown so much, but Parliament, well, I guess it would have sort of been the crown, stepped in and
Move 800 meters.
assumed control of the company and remerged it with the empire. Just absorbed it into the British Empire, and India became a crown colony instead of a merchant colony, essentially. I agree. Competition is needed. It helps innovate, but the issue is as much as there are anti-lobbying laws, there isn't really an anti-monopoly laws, both here and in America. The lobbying laws aren't strong enough to encourage.
Incoming sector scan.
The lobbying laws aren't strong enough to discourage lobbying politicians, and the politicians often get lobbied into ignoring the push to break up a monopoly. Which is why, I don't know what it was, but the case not too long ago where
Sector scan terminated.
Google needed to break up all its assets because it had too much of a monopoly over, well, everything, was groundbreaking, really.
Man, 100 meters front. Man, 100 meters left.
Man, 75 meters, front.
I wanted to go out with a bang, like bring out the A10 essentially, but I'm not going to be able to. So what I'll do, I'll grab you, I'll grab that.
Select drop zone. Airdrop in progress.
No, yeah, you 100% pilot. Like it's not a game, but at the same time, it essentially is when it comes to those big companies.
What's your position?
Two, move up.
On the way.
Two, gunner, get in that vehicle.
Roger that.
I know, buddy, I know. Come on, get in. I want to go out with a bang. I want to have a bit of a cast run.
Report in. Over. 7. Report in. Over. 8. Sit rep.
Standing by. Shit, we got a man down.
How bad is the budget being neglected over there? Fair enough. Don't let your mum hear that, or your mother hear that. They often like to run away with when you finally admit that they were right. I said careful about letting your mother know that she's right. They like to, quite often, I don't know if it's the same with yours, they like to hold that over you for a while. They're taking fire. How the fuck from? Really? You weren't firing the fucking gun because I'd swapped to a different weapon accidentally? Ah, fair enough. Ah, fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, just running death down on these guys. Okay. How do I land it? I can land it quite easy if I wanted to. Deploy the landing gear.
Contact. Trent 050066.
There, landed. This is the this helicopter's based off the experimental replacement for the Apache back in the, I want to say 80s. Yeah, they filled in. It was meant to be like a stealthy replacement for the Apache. I think it was. They've named something else it, but I think originally it was meant to be called like the Cobra or something. And because obviously they follow the Soviet Union and shit, they didn't actually put it into production because, well, what's the use of a stealth attack helicopter if you're not going to be fighting anything with it? Fuck it, I'll do manual fire. Rocket run. Yeah, I thought they were out to end themselves. Now the question is, because this is going to be my final attack run, do I raid out with you guys, or do I just let you guys fuck off and find people that you want to watch? Oh, fucking pulled that off quite nicely. Look at that. What do you guys want? You want me to raid someone, or do you guys want to go do your own thing now? Because as much as it would be fun to keep going, I'm just about out of ammo. I don't have the funds to buy an ammo truck. And if my missus wakes up again and sees me still streaming, she will probably kill me. Okay, well in that case, I like the idea of raiding. So, you want to watch someone that's doing the same game, or should I find someone new? those for me. Like, don't get me wrong, the Monster Hunter franchise is pretty cool. Never just, yeah, I just never really picked it up myself. Man, that actually seems really boring. I'm not gonna read that guy. What about this guy? Yeah, that's cool. That's true. Alright, I'm gonna read this guy. Found a guy. To be fair, I think he's Zeusing as well. Have a good night, guys.